WWBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
I can't believe I'm putting my voice to this.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Thank you for your irrelevant opinion.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I got to say.
I'm a broadcast journalist. I have a right to my opinion.
Oh, son of a...
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary.
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the intern.
How's everybody doing?
There we go. It'd help if I brought you up here. Your microphone was above your head. I was waiting for you to bring it down, and you were just...
I had to pull like a Mr.
Yeah, you had to pull a Kennedy.
Or Anderson.
Yeah, we got to get right into it today because there is so much going on in the program today. Coming up first, I had the chance earlier this week, or the opportunity to have a chat with WWE Diva Paige. I've got that coming up for you in just a moment or so. And a little bit later this hour, we've got good old JR, Jim Ross, joining the program once again.
Back God!
You're going to throw a sounder for everything, aren't you?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course. And, of course, we've got our reaction, well, not even reaction, preview. That's it. Predictions certain to go wrong for the Royal Rumble, which is tomorrow night here in Philadelphia. So much going on in the area. In fact, right after the show today, we'll be rolling down to the Monster Factory over in Paulsboro, and they're starting at 2 o'clock. Gave you the rundown last week of everything that's going on. There's Ring of Honor tonight. That is sold out at the 2300 Arena. So those of you going to that should be fun. WWE's up at the up in East Rutherford at the Izod Center tonight. A litany of stuff going on. We'll go over that in the third segment. But for now, as I said earlier this week, I had the opportunity to speak with WWE Diva Paige, and I feel like I'm pulling a Chris Hardwick from the Nerdist podcast, kind of giving a little behind the scenes on how all this stuff is going down.
Enjoy your burrito.
I was going to say, I think I don't get that reference. I'm sure you do. Don't explain it now. Or yeah.
I don't even get the reference. It's just something that, for me, it's just something they always say.
Gotcha. But, yeah, so we spoke with Paige. I was given less than 24 hours to prepare, like, questions for her because I didn't know... It was kind of a back and forth. We were waiting to see which superstar was available, but it was all for promoting WWE at the Sun Bank Center, which occurred last night in Trenton.
You know what the sad thing is? I would have been able to make the interview, but I had finals.
Knowledge is power. Education is the way to go. That's
Yep.
You say that so disappointedly.
Yep.
But you'll be glad to know, and a kind of a fun story. I actually got a message from Teresa, the winner of a set of tickets that we had to the event. She brought her son with her to the event, and her son, I think who's like 5 years old, actually caught John Cena's towel that he threw out into the crowd.
Oh, this is just gonna be so great.
Yeah, so how hey, it's good. Sometimes fortune smiles upon different people, but Teresa wanted to send thanks for the tickets and drop that little story on me. They had an absolute blast last night at the Sun Bank Center. So you'll hear a promotion for it. Obviously, the event occurred last night. I'm sure WWE will be rolling around in Trenton again sometime soon, but you'll kind of hear that and wonder what the heck's going on here. So without further ado, my chat from earlier this week with WWE Diva Paige. 1490 WBCB, this is Pro Wrestling Weekly, and I'm proud to be joined by certainly a hot upstart name in the WWE, the youngest WWE Divas champion in the history of the WWE. We have Paige on the line. Paige, welcome to the program.
Hello. I like your introduction.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say, I wasn't really sure where exactly to go, and I figured that's probably the greatest statistic. I guess we'll start with that. Where exactly do you go? You came into the WWE at the age of 21. I mean, how did you get started so early in professional in sports entertainment?
Yeah, actually, I've been wrestling since I was 13, but I actually got into the WWE at 19 years old.
13.
And
wow.
I managed to get on the main roster by the time I was 21. So, but yeah, my whole family are wrestling, so I was kind of born into it, luckily.
Oh, okay. Kind of a family thing over. It's over in Norwich, England, right?
Yes, yes.
So I guess that pretty much explains. If you're born into it, it's kind of a family thing, almost akin to, I guess, the Harts in Canada or the Von Erichs in Texas.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, talk about. I saw that you recently joined the cast of Total Divas.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. What that experience is like.
It's actually it was very weird at first, just because I'm not. I was very much like, no, I just have to stick to wrestling and all that kind of thing, and I'm not used to opening up very well. Like, I'm very. I like to keep my private life. But it was, actually, the transition was actually pretty good. Like, I had Natty help me, the Bellas. Like, basically, they're just cameras that just follow you around everywhere, and that's it. You just have to be yourself. But yeah, at first it was really tough, but by the end of it, like, I opened up, and it's actually been a lot of fun. I like to do it because I'm kind of like a little troublemaker and a little prankster, so it's really cool for people to see me behind the scenes too.
A prankster. That's kind of funny. Without, I guess, getting anybody into trouble, can you give an example of a rib that you might have played on somebody?
Well, obviously, we just watched one on the first episode where Natty ended up trying to crash her car because I told her that she ate pop brownies. Which wasn't true, but obviously we have this whole drug testing policy, so she freaked out, but I ended up telling her, like, I'm just kidding around, and she ended up really crashing her car for it all.
Oh, gosh. Now, without giving anything away, I guess we can expect to see more of those in the upcoming episodes of Total Divas?
Absolutely. I love to mess around. You'll see tons. You'll see tons.
Oh, that should certainly be entertaining. I have to admit, as long as they're not pulled on me, I'm a fan of the ribs. That's for sure.
well, actually, if I meet you in person, you have to be careful because it might be.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Now, being on the cast of Total Divas, I know that at one point your character was kind of known as being the anti-diva. Does that kind of fly in the face, I guess, being on Total Divas? I mean, how do you feel about that?
A lot of fans are really, really worried because when I first announced I was going to be on Total Divas, they were actually livid. They were just like, no, they were upset. But I was like, you know what? Like, it's not going to change. Like, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be an anti-diva. It's just like I'm a different kind of girl to be on the show. Like, they needed a different girl like me and Alicia Fox. Like, we bring a different kind of spice to the show, But like, we're still being ourselves, and after like a couple of episodes, I feel like the fans saw that, and they're actually like really happy and they're excited for me, and they actually love to watch it now. So they're on my side now. But I'm still the anti-diva just because I'm on a Total Diva show.
Okay, that was actually one of the first. I posed some questions to our listener, or gave the listeners the opportunity to throw some questions your way, and that was one of the first ones that popped up. So that was kind of funny. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're the youngest Divas champion in WWE history. I mean, you're only 22, two-time
Right.
Divas champion already. What goals do you have going forward on WWE and even outside of WWE?
Oh man, I have so many, especially WWE goals. So I obviously want to wrestle on a WrestleMania. Like, that's the be-all, end-all for me. Like, that's the thing that I want the most. Also, later on, like, I want to earn a spot in the Hall of Fame in years to come. But yeah, I want to be able to wrestle on every single pay-per-view. Like, I want to be a part of all the BS stars. Like, anything that they really do, I want to be a part of. So luckily, in like nearly my first year, like, I've accomplished so much, but I still have so much left to do. But yeah, anything to do with WWE, like, I have to be on. But WrestleMania is my main goal.
Definitely makes sense. Can't argue with that one. Now, you said you joined the WWE. You signed on with WWE at 19 and got the call up a couple of years later. How was it getting acclimated to coming over to the U.S. from Norwich, England?
It was really hard because obviously, like, I'm young, and being 19 especially, it was super hard. But it was just a kind of a shock, like a culture shock as well. It's just I obviously lived out of my, like, I lived by myself in England too, but it was like I was only a couple of miles down the road from my family. But like going completely to the other side of the world, like, was absolutely mind blowing. But you kind of have to make. I don't know. It was hard. It was really hard. At first, because I was very young and I was very homesick, and I'd be Skyping my mom and dad every single day, and I was always upset. But I was just like, you know what? No, this is my dream. Like, why am I being upset about this? So after a couple of months, like, I completely shook it off, and I really, like, dove into work, and I was working really hard, like, every single day, and it just becomes, like, easier. And now, like, I can't imagine going back to England. I'm just so happy being here.
I can imagine that the homesickness definitely being. I mean, what's a typical day like as far as, let's say, the travel? Like, kind of take us into a typical day for WWE Diva Paige.
Well, it actually depends. I mean, today is like a day off, but obviously up bright and early to do interviews and stuff. So, but on my work days, for Friday, say we start and we have live events. So we have a flight at like 6 in the morning. I'll get up, get ready, get to the airport. We'll get to the town, and then we have to run our errands real quick because we don't have to do it during the week. But sometimes we'll go do media, sometimes we'll go do the beer stars, sometimes we'll go do different appearances, and then we'll have to get to a show. Sometimes we'll have meet and greets there. So we're completely busy throughout, like, the whole day. And then we'll do it again, like, a Saturday. Then we'll do it again Sunday. If it's not a live event, it's pay-per-view. And then, so we're completely, like, busy. And then, obviously, Monday and Tuesday we have Raw, and we have Raw, and then we have a taping for SmackDown that airs on Thursday. So we're constantly busy. But that's pretty much, like, our days. Like, it was just media. Then sometimes we have to try and train in between. Like, we really have to try, because we don't want to get rusty, So before the show, we'll get in the ring sometimes, and we'll train a little bit with Gold Dust, and it's, so that's pretty much our days.
Gold Dust as a trainer, that's interesting. What other mentors do you have inside the WWE, or I guess what other inspirations do you have either in or outside of WWE?
Well, when I came in, the trainer that I absolutely adored the most was Norman Smiley. He was kind of like Diva's trainer in the developmental program the first time I came in, and he was so helpful, and he was just a genius when it comes to wrestling. So it was really cool. And then we have Sarah Del Rey, which is the first ever women's trainer in WWE history. So and I worked with her actually before WWE. We were on the independent scene together, so it was really nice to have her there as a trainer and as a friend too. So it was incredible. But the person that I look up to, which has nothing obviously to do with the WWE now, but as a wrestler, like, Bull Nakano was my ultimate favorite wrestler. Like, she was incredible. She's the one that I got my submission from. So I loved her, and I loved Stone Cold. Like, so those two are my absolute ultimate favorites.
Bull Nakano, you're taking. I know I'm a few years older than you. You're taking me back to my mid-school days. Remember those feuds with her and Alundra Blaze back in '94? Those were some classics. Yeah, I know. You're mentioning a few of these names, and they're definitely throwbacks. Norman Smiley, I immediately think of the Big Wiggle.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Talk about Alundra Blaze. After a Raw a couple of weeks ago, I was absolutely surprised, and I completely fangirled out. She wrote to me, and she was just like, "You're doing great. You're different. Stay being you." I was just like, "Wow, oh my God, Alundra Blaze wrote to me." I'm still, like, a huge fangirl at heart, so that was incredible. She was really nice.
Well, you kind of have to be. I mean, if you're just doing things for the sake of doing them, I would imagine it would just be kind of run-of-the-mill boring. So you kind of have to have that passion, that fandom still in there.
Right, exactly. Oh, I'm always going to be a fan girl. Always. I love wrestling. So.
Well, you'll certainly be seeing a lot of fans as WWE returns to the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton, New Jersey with WWE Live Super Show. It's this Friday, January 23rd. Your chance to see your favorite WWE superstars live in action and find out what'll happen just 2 days before the Royal Rumble. This time of year is just amazing in that regard. Don't miss John Cena, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Kane, The Big Show, Mark Henry, the WWE Divas, of course, and many more of your favorite WWE superstars. Tickets start just as low as $15. I guess it'd be about, what would it be, about 12 quid over it? No, I'm having a little fun. Tickets. Yeah, no, I'm not good at those conversions. Tickets are available at www.comcasttix.com. You can also call 1-800-298-4200 or in person at the Sun National Bank Center box office. And for more information, you can visit www.sunnationalbankcenter.com. Paige, certainly great to talk to you. Always, I personally, I've been a fan of the British culture, so it's good to kind of have a chat with you. I know I've thrown a couple of colloquialisms out there that probably threw you off a bit.
Oh no, you're good. It's good.
But Paige, I want to thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you this weekend. I'm guessing you're going to be in attendance for all the events. The Sun Bank Center coming up this Friday, and then of course the Royal Rumble. You never know what's going to happen with that.
I will be there every day.
And we certainly look forward to that and a long career ahead for WWE Diva Paige. Paige, thank you so much for joining us here on WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There you have it. WWE Diva Paige. Lucas, compose yourself.
Wow, she was a delight. Too bad I wasn't there.
Well, it is after 12. Would you say it's an afternoon delight? Gonna find my baby, gonna hold
I don't have the bleep button with me.
All right. I should get sacked just for singing. All right, let's take care of our first time out here, and then when we come back on the other side, JR, good old JR, Jim Ross, joining the program. He's got his one-man show. He had one last night in the area up at the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey, and he'll be at the Underground Arts tomorrow. And he's going to tell us all about that, and as well as I'd imagine his trip over to Japan, Wrestle Kingdom 9, a whole litany of things to talk about with that. So Jim Ross coming up on the other side. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon Derry.
Yeah, no fancy quirks or quips today. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the intern. Just finished up the Paige interview from earlier and looking forward to having a chat with JR. That's coming up in just a moment.
All right. Hold on, turn the mic back on, Fearon. You know we're just
Lucas putting his
off. Seriously, that was for. I did not have the button ready. Did not have it ready.
Cutting your mic for the rest of the show.
Please don't, Fearon. You got to let me at least get one in.
I have no follow-up with that. There's no time to mess around. We got too much to do today. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Including JR. He's in town, or at least he will be for all kinds of stuff going on tomorrow, and he's going to talk about it. And here's JR. 1490 WBCB, welcoming back to the program. Glad to have him back, and back on the condition that I don't ask him any more questions about his in-ring career. We've got WWE Hall of Fame broadcaster Jim Ross. JR, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Fearon, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. As I was telling you off air, a little nervous, even though I probably shouldn't be. I mean, it's not every day you get to talk to a Hall of Famer, but
you should not be nervous.
I'm a fan too, as well as a broadcast journalist. Well, I guess since we last spoke about a month ago, talk about your experience in Japan, Wrestle Kingdom 9. Talk a little bit about that.
it was a really good experience, very positive. You know, excluding the long travel, excluding some questionable groceries, and not being able to speak Japanese, it was absolutely terrific. So for a wrestling fan, it was a very cool deal. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with Matt Striker. I enjoyed calling kind of an old philosophy schooled wrestling event. So it was positive. It was good. I hope we could do it again someday.
Now go into a little bit of detail. What do you mean as far as the groceries?
Well, the food.
Oh, okay.
I'm not big into a restaurant and considering ordering horse meat.
Oh, interesting.
So if you and I go to dinner someday, I don't need to go to the place that has the best horse meat in town. That kind of deal.
No, steak will be more than fine.
Yes.
Or maybe some chicken with a little JR's barbecue sauce on it.
Now you're talking business.
There we go. Yeah, we'll get more into that coming up in a little bit. I don't know if you want to bring this up, and I guess since it's fairly recent news, I guess we'll just kind of gloss over it. But if you're up to it, the recent Twitter tiff that you had with former colleague Josh Matthews. If you don't want to get into it, you can just tell me, as William Regal would say, to bugger off, and we can move on.
I don't know how newsworthy it is, actually. I mean, I was very uncharacteristic of Josh. I'd never had any issues with him. I'm happy for his where he's got his career still rolling along, and so I don't really know where what precipitated the tweet that he sent out, but I just it was kind of a head scratcher. So I made one reply, and I was done with it, and remain kind of unfazed with it. It was just a very out of the norm for him, because we've always had a good relationship, and at least I thought we did, and I still think that relationship is good, it can be okay. It's not one of those things I worry too much about or make a big deal out of going forward. Everybody has a bad day, and we've all sent tweets out or emails or texts or something to people that, in hindsight, we wish we had not. So, it's chalk it up to that and move on.
True, and there's no unsend button or untweet button or anything like that can kind of make it go away. You're certainly right about that.
No, you can't. So it's always a good lesson learned. You learn from me. I've deleted and not hit that send button on numerous occasions on various things. So, it was I thought it was out of his uncharacteristic for him. Let me say it that way. And I thought it was somewhat mindless that some websites said that we were in a Twitter war. A war. In the day and time we live in, to say that somebody is in a war on Twitter is almost laughable. A war. Really? We're done. So, anyway.
Yeah, I hear. That's why I simply said a Twitter tiff. I figured that'd be a little bit more.
Tiff is better. If you want to use tiff, I can see that. But when people are going to war and they're fighting for our country, and that's war. Something on Twitter and looking to get more traffic to your website is talking about an alleged Twitter war between Jim Ross and Josh Matthews is laughable. But nonetheless, it's behind us. I don't dislike Josh. I don't have any ill will toward Josh. That's not the way I operate. I said my piece in the rebuttal, and as far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Very good. I figured I'd bring it up because I had a hunch if I didn't, somebody probably would at your show coming up tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, it probably still will. True.
It probably still will. Tomorrow at Underground Arts in Philadelphia, I will get questions regarding why Chris Benoit's not in the Hall of Fame. I'll get questions about how I felt when sitting there watching Owen Hart fall from the rafters of the Kemper Arena in Kansas City and perish. But there's always a few people that just love to talk about negative things. and I don't have a problem. They pay their money; they can ask anything they choose. But we're going to try to have a lot more fun than answering all the, the serious questions of that nature. They're not off limits, but we're going to have a lot more laughs and a lot more fun than we're going to have the serious questions like that. So, I think it's going to be a great time. The VIP folks get a meet and greet. That starts at 1 o'clock, and those are always fun. I enjoy those because it's get a little bit more up close and personal with the fans, and then we start our show at 3 o'clock. We're out of there at 5. So I think from Underground Arts to the Wells Fargo Center is minutes. So people got plenty of time to get from our show to the Royal Rumble with no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know I've got my VIP ticket, and hopefully the listeners out there do as well. It's ringside, an afternoon with Jim Ross. That's tomorrow at, as you said, 3 p.m. I believe the doors open at 2, and the VIP meet and greet starts at 1 for those who have the tickets.
Yes, sir. That is exactly right. And good seats are still available, plenty of them. You can buy them at the door tomorrow, starting at $20. So I'm looking forward to it. Philly's always been a great city for me, and I've never done a show in Philadelphia. I thought that we would be a good kind of a tailgate party, for the lack of a better term, for the Royal Rumble, which I think is going to be an exciting event. It's very unpredictable this year, more than normal, I think. And, it sold out in one day, so there's a lot of folks wanting to see it, and I don't blame them. I'm going to be watching it myself. So it's probably one of my second favorite big WWE event of the year behind WrestleMania.
Well, that actually ties in perfectly to my next question, because WrestleMania and Philadelphia, they have a bit of a tie, especially to you as well, going back to 1999, following your health issues, making your return to the broadcast booth at WrestleMania 15. What was the feeling like making your return? Describe how you were feeling that night.
Scared to death. I really had kind of written off my broadcasting career after that second bout of Bell's palsy. I had an attack of Bell's palsy on the air in England while doing a pay-per-view for the UK, and it was after finding out that my mom had suddenly passed away at age 64, so it triggered another Bell's palsy attack that was more severe than the first one. So I really thought that my on-air career had probably come to a halt with the innovations like HD and things like that, making television a little bit more, a little bit more challenging for some of us. So when I got to do the Stone Cold Rock main event in Philly, and I think that was WrestleMania 15.
That was, yep.
That was Vince McMahon allowed that to happen, and that was very much appreciated. But I really thought it was going to be kind of my swan song. But I think when I walked out and got a standing ovation from the fans in Philadelphia, it validated to me that they didn't care what I looked like, and they didn't care, about those things. They just cared that I was there, and I was going to be passionate, and I was going to give them the best performance I humanly possibly could. And it really gave me the jump start to get back in the game. So I owe Philadelphia and its fans a great deal, and I hope that we can, begin to repay them with a little bit of fun in this show tomorrow at the Underground Arts. Again, we had to move the show. It was originally scheduled to be at the Trocadero Theater. So a lot of folks got a little bit confused on that situation. But it's definitely going to be at the Underground Arts facility. And, again, as I mentioned, tickets are still available. AXS.com or at the door the day of the event. But I was scared. I was going to be. Somebody said, "Well, don't take it personally if they boo you when you come out, because this is the city that boos Santa Claus." Which I'm processing, getting ready to call a match, and I've been on hiatus for since December. So good 3+ months. So I was a lot more worried about going out and doing my job and holding my one side of my face up so I wasn't slurring so badly. And the last thing I needed to hear was that, "Oh, you'll probably get booed because it's Philadelphia." Well, it is Philadelphia, and they didn't boo me. They were great. So I have a lot of respect for the city, and especially for the wrestling fans.
Yeah, the booing Santa Claus thing is a stigma that we've had to deal with for almost a half century at this point. It's one of those things that'll never go away. But there was a time when you were booed, and I was actually, this is my own teenage at the time curiosity kind of coming out. What brought on your heel turn back in the fall of '96 when you brought in the new Razor and new Diesel?
Well, that's just what the writers, I think that might have been the Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara era of writing edgy TV 14 stuff. And you're cast in a role. Here's your script. Here's what you're going to be doing. And, if you're a team player, you just go out and try to pull it off. So it was a creative decision on how they thought I should be used. And I'm not sure where it was going. I thought it pretty well died a natural death because I was not a very good heel, and nor did I have the desire to be. But again, if you cash the checks, and you need to be a team player. If you're going to take the man's money, and my dad taught me, you do what the man wants you to do with your work. So it was a new adventure for me. We did it, and I didn't think it worked well. The fans didn't really do me much. They liked the straightforwardness of the promo. And so, but it was I guess you could say an experiment, or it didn't work, quite frankly. So, I don't know what brought it on. I wasn't in the creative circle at that point on that type of thing. So, I just, like the football player, the coach called a play and I ran it.
There you go. Okay, that certainly makes a lot of sense. Now, you're right. Some things, not everything is necessarily going to work, and some things, I guess, look better on paper than they do when they come out. I guess I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this. Is there, with everything that you've seen, a character or storyline or angle or something you've looked at and initially thought, wow, how in the hell am I going to make this look good? Turning chicken bleep into chicken salad, if you will.
Well, I didn't know how to, Jerry Lawler and I didn't really know how to call a match between Vince McMahon and God, the invisible God in the ring. That was a little challenging. I hadn't ever called a match with an invisible wrestler before, so that was going to take some imagination and some creativity. That one jumps out at me off the top of my head.
Oh gosh, Backlash 2006, I think that was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I tried to forget it. So, it was hard to do because, it was no precedent and it was out there, really out there. So that one comes to mind as one of the more challenging scenarios to be placed in. I think the Katie Vick corpse thing was a little hard to react to with a straight face. So. There've been a few, and but that's the challenge of being a broadcaster in that world, is that you have to make adjustments, and you have to think on your feet, and you have to be creative, and you have to try to make it the best you can. And some of those storylines are going to be easier to communicate and to translate to the viewers and the fans than others. So, but those are a couple off the top of my head that were especially challenging to deal with.
Wow, yeah. As soon as you had mentioned the one from 2006, that was similarly out of my memory, and as soon as you brought it back, but boom, it just brought a couple of chuckles and a few cringes as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Me too.
Yeah, you being right in the middle of it. Some big news announced earlier this week. WrestleMania 32, AT&T Stadium, April of next year, in Jerry Jones's Palace in Dallas. WWE finally looking to get that six-figure attendance record for a WWE event. Now, I hate to be that early speculation guy, but I know you'd put in your blog that would be a great venue for Steve Austin to make a return, for The Undertaker, health permitting, to be in there. What likelihood do you see either of those guys being involved in the event?
I don't know. The likelihood, for me to answer in the likelihood, means I have some inside information, I don't. I speculated. I have a forum. I'm a fan. I am of the belief that if Austin was going to come back for one more match, it would be perfectly set in his home state of Texas. If Undertaker was going to have a quote-unquote last match, it could perhaps be in his home state of Texas. All those various elements put together certainly would give me hope that give the team and all the new guys that are just still trying to create their way a shot at breaking the attendance record and getting over 100,000 fans in there, which it will hold with using the field and as for seating and so forth. It's a great venue. I've been in it many times, and it is a palace. And the other thing that's great about having a shot at having a big turnout is you have two major airline hubs there. You have American Airlines that can pretty well, you can fly to Dallas from almost anywhere in the world, and you have Southwest Airlines, which is a hub there as well. So transportation and getting to Dallas is easy from pretty much anywhere in the world. So I think that it's a great selection. I know it's a wonderful venue, and I think it'll do record business. I really do. Somebody asked me this morning on Twitter, who do you want to see Austin wrestle? It's a little bit early for me to be thinking about what matches there are for WrestleMania 32. I think the return of Austin, which would be obviously for his last match, because he doesn't want to come back. He's got a great career going in reality television and other things. He just turned 50. So he's still in awesome shape. Looks wonderful. I saw him this weekend out in L.A. And so there's a variety of guys that would probably stand in line. There'd be a long line of guys wanting to work with Steve. Same with Taker. But I think that those two guys, and maybe even throw The Rock in, if he's available and of the inclination, he's not making a movie or something. You bring a lot of your guys back that all can get back in the ring and do something that would be special, because you want to add as many special attractions to this event as you can because of all the additional seats that you want to sell. So that was just a thought of mine, fantasy booking, and because if Austin's going to do a match at WrestleMania 32, he's going to want to start planning on it soon. That's just his nature, mentally and physically. So I think that I think it's a great choice, as I mentioned, and I think it'll be historic at WrestleMania 32. Great thing for me is that where we live here in Oklahoma, it's an easy drive. So I don't have to get on an airplane to go watch the event. It's an easy drive for me, about 2 hours and change. So it's something that I would certainly want to be a part of if nothing else, as a fan watching it, because it's just really a cool venue. Until you've been in it, you can't really appreciate its grandeur.
I think you just sold me on it. I have to book the flight now. Though that being said, if, and this is really pie in the sky, but if we do see Austin's last match at WrestleMania 32, could we possibly see JR behind the mic calling that last match?
Well, that's not my call. Am I able? Right now I'm able, God willing, I'll stay able. But that's what, if provided the opportunity, I would embrace the opportunity to be a part of that. So, I'm in the bullpen. They need me. I can certainly still come in and contribute to some level. So I'd love it, but that's a long way off. It's a long way off, and but if given the opportunity, and depending on the lay of the land and all those things, my health, and I'd love to be tagged in for that match. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. It's I'm a lot more concerned about entertaining a room full of folks tomorrow.
That's just what I was about to say. You'll be taking the mound for that tomorrow. So you've got plenty of time to go back to the bullpen for that. But yeah, let's tomorrow, ringside and afternoon with Jim Ross. It's tomorrow starting at 3 p.m. The doors open at 2, and if you get those VIP meet and greet tickets, that starts at 1 o'clock. I know I'll be seeing you there.
Yes, sir. Good. I'm glad to. I look forward to seeing you there. We're going to have fun. The fans are really the stars of the show. I'll do a little monologue, and that'll be, I think, fun and kind of serve as the GPS roadmap of my career in rapid style. And then it kind of primes the pump for all those great Q&As that we get from the fans, and no questions off limits. And it really gives every show a different personality and a different texture, because the questions are varied. They change essentially with every show. But all in all, I think the show's got, generally people leave there with a smile on their face because they've laughed or had a good time. They've learned some new information. They've been entertained by some fans' questions or their antics, whatever it may be. So each show changes. Each show's different, and I love doing them. I'm still a wrestling fan, big time, and being amongst the other fans is a great opportunity for me to tell them thanks and enjoy their company and answer their questions and engage them in conversation. So it's going to be a good show, nice and casual, and I have never played Philly, as I mentioned earlier, so I want to make it a good show, particularly good show, and I may have a little surprise or two up my sleeve for that event, and so I'm excited about tomorrow. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it. The Underground Arts, 1200 Callow Hill Street in Philadelphia. It's ringside and afternoon with Jim Ross. You can also check out Jim's website at jrsbarbq.com. You can buy some of his T-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/Jim Ross. And you can order, of course, that JR's barbecue sauce, the seasoning, beef jerky, all at shop.wwe.com. Did I get all the plugs out? Am I missing anything?
I'm sorry. I was just going to tell you. You reminded me that all the VIP and meet and greet folks that we do at 1 o'clock, and there are a few of those seats are still left as we speak. Everybody's going to get a free bottle of JR's original barbecue sauce as well. So, in addition to the pictures and that they take and the personalized autographs and the little chats we get to have, I'm going to give everybody a bottle of JR's original sauce to take home with them. So this is a little extra thank you. That's all. Just out of appreciation for all the years of support and for coming to the show. So if somebody hasn't gotten their ticket, don't panic. Just show up tomorrow at 2 o'clock and get it at the door, and off we go. Or get them in advance and come to the meet and greet.
That either one sounds like a heck of a plan. But be sure to buy a couple other bottles. That way you can make some nice barbecue wings for Super Bowls coming up in a week and a day. So that might be a plan as well. So lots of opportunities to get things in.
And my barbecue sauce will not deflate your footballs.
Oh yes, very very topical. They'll just inflate your taste buds. That's for sure.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Jim Ross, an absolute treat. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow at your show and at the VIP meet and greet.
Okay, buddy. Good to talk to you as always, and I'll be looking forward to shaking your hand tomorrow.
There it is, Jim Ross, good old JR joining the program. Dropping lots of knowledge. Wow, so much to take in from that.
That was pretty cool.
That was a lot of fun.
I wish I could have been there for that interview as well.
Well, you'll get to see him in person tomorrow. So
true.
Yeah, right face to face, meeting JR.
Face to face with the man that runs the place.
I don't think he runs the Underground Arts Center.
You know what?
All right, I know where you're going with this. Well, we're going to a break because we've still got another segment to do, and we've only got like 8 minutes and change. So let's take care of this quick timeout. We got our predictions for the Rumble. So much more to do still. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, January 24. On this date in 1988, the WWF held its first ever Royal Rumble Supercard. In the featured match, Hacksaw Jim Duggan won the 20-man Royal Rumble match. On this date in 1993, the WWF held its Royal Rumble pay-per-view. In the main event, Yokozuna won the 30-man Royal Rumble match. This was the first year where the winner of the Royal Rumble automatically earned a title shot at WrestleMania. On this date in 1998, WCW held its sold-out pay-per-view. In the main event, Lex Luger defeated Randy Savage. On this date in 1999, the WWF held its Royal Rumble pay-per-view. In the main event, Vince McMahon won the 30-man Royal Rumble match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, January 24.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the intern. We only have like 5 minutes left and so much to do. Let's get Royal Rumble tomorrow. Predictions certain to go wrong. Let's get right into it.
All right, then.
The kickoff match. The New Day. Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods against Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Adam Rose in a 6-man tag team match. Who you got?
The New Day.
You like you're higher on the New Day than I am. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people are saying they're getting a negative push, but they've been winning actually. So, I mean, of course,
they're like the lower
mid.
Bite my tongue on that one.
Yeah, they're like the lower mid. Yeah, you're better. Bite your tongue. They're the lower mid card. Yeah, but they're still not getting it completely buried like the Ascension is. That was another thing that really.
Speaking of the Ascension.
Yeah.
They've got themselves a pay-per-view match. They're taking on the
pay-per-view payday.
Yeah, 19 more. They can catch up to Hercules. And the New Age Outlaws coming out of whatever home they were in to face off against the Ascension.
Outlaws.
Was that it? Yeah, I say that, and yet I've got them as my pick to win. Go figure. So, sorry.
You don't really, it just grinds.
What a flush.
All right, you know what grinds my gears the most? And I did that in Peter Griffin's voice for a reason. It's just the fact that they're right out of NXT and they can just immediately start getting buried. That's a new record. Like, they beat Bo Dallas with that record.
Oh, my boy. My boy, Bo. Don't worry, I'm not going to play the music. I can see you're tensing up already. You're just like, you better not. You bleepity bleep bleep, you better not. All right. Ain't nobody got time for that. The Usos defending the tag titles against Miz and Mizdow.
Usos win, and I finally want to see the dissension between Miz and Mizdow. I finally want to see it. I just
dissension, smellness. Yes, okay. I'm with you on that. I think the Usos are going to win as well. The Divas match, not a singles match, but a tag match, if you will. Paige and Natalya against the Bella Twins.
I'm going to say the Bella Twins.
See, I just interviewed Paige. It would be wrong to pick against her, so I got to go with...
Paige, if you're listening, I'm not... You're probably not. But if you are listening by any chance, please note that I am a huge fan of yours. I'm not voting against you for biased reasons. I just feel like it would go along more with the storyline. And now that I just
plus, it's all Natalia's fault. There you go. That's the way you can...
And plus, considering I just made a fool of myself on national radio, or not national radio, local, whoever's listening...
Global radio. We're worldwide. We're all over.
On global radio, considering I just made a fool of myself, please forgive me.
Again.
Okay,
it's the truth.
Yes, it's the truth. It's the truth.
It's true. It's damn true.
Yes, it is.
All right. The all-world WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Brock Lesnar in a triple threat. John Cena, and Seth Rollins. I think Lesnar retains here. I know there's been a lot of smoke screens going on, but I think Lesnar takes it here.
I can definitely give you a prediction. I was a little bit... it was a little bit shady for me because I couldn't tell, but I knew for a fact Cena isn't going to win this match, to the delight of certain people listening to the show. Extreme Kyle.
He's going to give you so much crap tomorrow.
I do not care. I'm wearing a Daniel Bryan shirt. I should wear a Cena shirt, but I'm picking Lesnar. Because what point would it make for Seth Rollins to win if he's money in...
Plus, with Lesnar's appearance at Mania, where do you really go with him from there? All right, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. 17 announced competitors. I'd go through them all, but we'd run out of time. Who you got? Well, you know what? I think we did this last year. We'll give you... Because there's so many in the field, we'll give you... it's like that movie. Utah, give me 2.
You know what? I know I said Daniel Bryan and Reigns, but you know what? Screw it. I'm just going Daniel Bryan this time. Daniel Bryan all the way. Because I feel like they're setting him up more to win the Rumble than Reigns. I feel like he's going to get eliminated by Big Show or somebody.
Huh. Interesting. Well, that was going to be my solo pick, and you know what? I'll stick with it. I think this is... We thought they couldn't screw it up last year, and boy, did they. So here's your... All that's missing is Tosh.0 for a web redemption.
Please don't you dare do it.
What?
Oh, you're not going to pick Reigns, are you?
No. I was going to go Daniel Bryan.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No, I'm saying they get a second chance to make a first impression.
Okay.
This is their network web redemption. Bring in Daniel Tosh.
Thank you.
It's still real to me, damn it. All right, enjoy the Rumble, everybody. Enjoy all the festivities, whether it's the Monster Factory, Ring of Honor, Chikara, Eric Bischoff and Bruce Pritchard's debate, Chris Jericho making an appearance, the JR show, which Luke and I will be at, as well as the Royal Rumble tomorrow night. We'll be back with next week with a recap, follow-up, all the insanity and alacrity and everything else here on Pro Wrestling Weekly, here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB 11.